Hey everyone, welcome to Northeast Iowa. This is Karen, and I was sitting here crafting and thought I should just hop on because I could tell a little story or talk while I craft and not feel so alone. So what I'm working on today is a correspondence journal, and what that means is like all the letters that I get or cards from friends or from my husband. I wanted a place to put them, so I had this composition notebook that I had glued pages together and taken pages out, and so I actually got quite a bit done before I started to film, but that's okay. So the cover, I just measured what my cover was, and then I had this cardstock. I don't know who it's from. And I think it was called Pebbles, but I loved the quilty aspect of it and all the colors. And then this was a journal card from another paper pack. I liked how the colors fit in, and I used all these colors inside, so that's what happened. And this was just something that was on that sheet, so I just put that on the corner. And then for the inside cover, I just found this pink cardstock that I had, and I liked how that looked. I knew I wanted to put this quote on the first page. It says, "A true friend warms you with her presence, trusts you with her secrets, and remembers you in her prayers." And that is so very true. And since this is my correspondence journal of things from friends, I thought it was a perfect way to start it. And then what I did, because this is already getting pretty bulky, or fluffy, as someone has said, I went every other page and was going to put a colored cardstock down. So I found the cardstocks or pattern papers that I wanted to use and went ahead and started gluing those in. This is all wrinkly because I just glue sticked these pages together. I did this a long time ago, and it's just the perfect wrinkly, crunchy. I just like how it feels, the texture, and I think it'll be fun. And to do this, there's a million and one ways to do this. This is my way, because I just wanted it to be something quick and easy, and yeah. So what kind of stories can I tell? I thought about doing like family stories and then tagging all my cousins in it so they could hear the stories, because I was the kid that loved hearing my great aunt tell stories, and I don't know all of the stories anymore. I've forgotten some, but yeah, going through my mom's house, I still had like all my crap from my childhood in my bedroom, and I found a notebook from, I'm pretty sure it was college, where I had to write like sorry, my printer just made a noise. It scared the absolute poop out of me. I guess it's trying to tell me I remember more than what I think. I found this notebook from college where I had written different stuff every day, and I wrote that one of my favorite stories I heard from my great aunt was the story about how my great great grandparents met. I did not tell the story. I just said how it was my favorite story that she told me. I wish I could go back and kick myself. It's like, write that shit down, because you think you're going to remember it, but you won't. So, yeah. That is the story of Sophie and Johann. I don't know if I say it right. It's German. That's how my mom said it. They called him John in America, but I don't think that's what they called him at home. So yeah, and I know some people want to hear stories about me, but I live a pretty boring life when it comes down to it. So I had a decision today. I'm reading, I guess it's somewhat controversial. I didn't realize that. A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Just a second. So it's about fairies and fantasy and that kind of stuff. And I had listened to the books. I used to, from 2005 to 2007, I had a job in another town, and I had to drive an hour and a half back and forth to work 3 times a week. So it wasn't a bad drive. It was all interstate. And around here, pretty much if you see 10 cars on the interstate in the morning, you're lucky. I mean, it's not quite like that, but it's pretty open. There's not usually a lot of traffic. And it was an easy drive. So, I would listen to library books. And I had come across these, and I liked them, but they were always out. So it's like I'd listen to one, and then 3 months later I'd listen to another one. Well, recently some of my holds came up, and I was listening to books, and I did not remember how the story went, and I was so utterly confused. It wasn't fun. Now I just have a 20-minute drive to work 2 days a week, so it's hard to get into stuff sometimes, but I do. So I started reading. Step back. So I got some gift cards for Christmas, and I was gonna buy the Court of Thorn and Roses box set, but it was like $150, and I'm like, I don't $150 want this. There's other things I'd rather get, like a printer or a laptop or, you know, stuff like that. Well, that one's done. There's more I can scoop out for other things, but I have yet another. This is just a Elmer's washable glue. I like it for these because if things don't stick, I don't care. And this glue is cheap. Alright, so I had a gift card from work. Court of Thorn and Roses was like $150, then it dropped down to $75, and I was like, should I or shouldn't I? And then I got a notification that it went down to $50, and I'm like, yes, please. So I finally bought the box set, and I got through the first and second book, and now I'm on the third, and these books are like this thick. So I was debating today if I should read this morning or just craft. I'm crafting one out. I just wanted to get messy. That is a hashtag, by the way. I don't remember what I saw it pop up. I don't remember what the theme was for that, but it applies to a lot in life, doesn't it? Especially with this craft. I feel like I always get messy. Except for when I do my thrifty hauls. Those typically are not messy. So yeah, I'm in the middle of the third book. A Wing in Ruins or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I had a friend post, are you going to read this weekend? And I said yes, but I will not finish that book this weekend. Because I'm only in like the first, I think I just finished the first quarter of the book. I used to be an avid reader, and then it kind of dwindled, and during COVID, I went to the once it opened back up, I went to the library and was like, librarian, I need some references, and she was phenomenal. The lady that I was working with, she's like, what do you want? And I would be like, well, I've read this, and I like this. And she's like, okay, you gotta read these. And I'm like, alright. And then she's like, this is a book series, but you have to read, there's 4 books. The first book has 1 and 3. The second book has 2 and 4. So you have to read the first half in one book, the second half in the next book. And I was like, yeah, I don't like that. Like, I just want to read. Sometimes I just want to read, and I don't want to have to think, and I don't want to have to keep track. And with A Court of Thorn and Roses, if you don't read them consecutively, it's like you have to go back and figure out what exactly is happening, because it can get confusing. But in this one book, it's like I can read and not have to think. There's a local coffee shop that's starting a reading program, and I was interested in going, but then they're like, you have to talk about what you're reading and then go sit and read silently for an hour. It's the Quiet Book Club. And I'm like, I don't want to talk about what I'm reading. I just want to come and read in peace and not have a puppy trying to steal my bookmark. Yeah, I had a bookmark, and it had like the tassel. It had a string and a tassel on it. So a while back, I came home and my tassel was gone. I was like, thanks, puppy. Thursday, and that happened weeks ago. Thursday, I come home, and I thought something was wrong with my bookmark, but I just wanted to read. Boyd was watching a show I didn't care about, so I was reading while he was watching. And see, I'm not being particular that this all matches up. It's gonna be fine. So yeah, the puppy stole the rest of the string from my bookmark. And yes, I have plenty of stuff I can add, another string and tassel. It's just wanting to get her past that. I blame it on those string toys that they make for dogs now. I think everything is theirs to tug on. I'm just gonna leave it. This is probably my favorite paper in here. I got it from Paper Studio. It's called Flowers on White. Just something different. I think I was gonna do a craft for my mom on it. And then COVID. And then I lost the enthusiasm for it, so it will go in this, and I will remember my mama. I never called her that in real life. Never ever. She was always the mom. So I am rounding these corners just with the smallest to kind of match what the composition notebook has. If I really wanted to and really cared, I could glue these in and then go back with a different punch and punch the pages and the paper at the same time so they're all matchy-matchy. But again, this is just for me and I don't care. And I will go back with art glitter glue later if things aren't stuck down the way that I want them to be. But for now, this is fine. So, question for you guys, are you a reader, and what book are you reading right now? I know my friend Laura, who comments, is an avid reader. In fact, she works at a bookstore sometimes, I think. So I wonder what kind of book recommendations she has. So, if I was a lot of people, once they finish this, they would take this and put it under a stack of heavy books. I don't know if I want to put in the effort. So let's see, what other stories can I say? Oh, Terry the Paper Monkey in one of their live chats had first chair clarinet in the house. And I laughed. It's like I was second chair in college and in high school. Actually, funny story. So my first year, I was so nervous. I was such a shy kid. I never ever would have imagined that I would be doing this. So my first year, we had to have tryouts, of course, for band, and I was so nervous. I did not play well, and back then you had to use a cassette player to record yourself. Yeah, it was just horrible. You're in this between the doors before you come into the room, the hallway, playing by yourself. Everyone can see you. It was so uncomfortable. I got last chair, needless to say. So my freshman year, I was the very last clarinetist. I don't remember how many we had. The next year, I was second chair, and every time after, I was second chair. So I'm pretty sure, unless I was third. I don't know. My two friends were I know Mary was first chair, and I can't remember if Janice was second chair or third chair. They were a year below me. Not that it matters, but yeah. But in college, I was second chair for sure. And, well, first year I was third chair because there was a senior who was before us. But, yeah, sorry if you've been moving. In college, the senior got all bent out of shape because the conductor said I had the perfect embouchure for a reed player. I laugh at that now. That someone is first chair and they get all pissy because he complimented someone else. I'm not going to round this page because it looks like old wood. And I just want it to be straight. And I think that's it. It is. So this is my back. And then my very back. So that's it. That is how I'm going to do my... This is how I did a altered composition book. And this is what I'm going to use to put all my correspondence in. So I have these cards that are journal cards from the paper. They look like this, sort of. And I thought they would be fun to put as pockets back here. So let's do that. Let's do the circle punch. So I have a little divot, so I know that that's a pocket. And at work, I work in web development, and there's a team of 11 of us, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us played the clarinet. Most of us were in music. Possibly 6. Yeah, it was crazy when I heard that. I have another card that I'm going to trim up here quick. It has a white border, and I need it to be smaller to fit. So this one says, find something you're passionate about and keep tremendously interested in it. Julia Child. I mean, does that not look like a G at first? I think I'm going to put it right there. And I'm going to offset the pocket hole just because of the words. So I'd be interested to know how many of you were like a band geek, choir geek, orchestra geek, math geek, all the geeks. And so what I do is I push down with my fingers and scooch them in a little bit so that there's a gap on the pocket so it's not totally flush. That gives it a little give so that you can put stuff in it. I love how this turned out. So now I can play. And what I mean by that is, so I have these scraps. I can put this here, and then I'll have a belly band that I can tuck something in. I'm just going to use the lines to line that baby up. Yeah, that'll be fun. And then I can put in pockets, or I can glue stuff in, whatever I decide to do. I am so excited to have this done. So these are all the scraps that I have from doing this. And I did leave a gap here because as it bulks up, to have the added paper there is just going to bulk up your spine, and then it makes it harder to like lay flat like this to do anything in. So that was my reasoning for that. Nope. And I don't have to do anything on these pages if I decide I don't want to. I just thought it would be kind of fun. The green wasn't inspiring me, but this blue is. How about if we do... It's not very tall. That's super tall. But that would be good. So that's my smidge less than 7. And I'm going to do a little bit bigger of a pocket because I can. So since we're talking about school and high school, I would not go back. If I could, I'm done. I don't care if I could go back knowing what I know now. I have no interest in going back to school. I was a band geek and I got picked on. And I don't need that in my life. So I'm going to put this here. And then if I wanted to, I was looking around to see if I had a card, but I don't have a card handy. Oh, I could do this. So let's say this is your card, and it's got the front and the back. You can go like this over it, and then you can have, I'll put another one down here, and then you could have two cards on display here. Doesn't matter that they're not the same width. So that's fun. So I have a belly band, I have a pocket, I have two belly bands. I like this too. I just like that decoration, and then I can glue something up here if I want. Alright, to be honest, I'm kind of losing steam on this one. I think it's a good start. I think I can add things as I want. I do want to find some lace. Actually, where are you? Oh, there you are. This is one of those little girl, like baby hair ties. It goes good on this. I could do, this is too small scale, but I was thinking I could do something like that down the edge, but it's too tiny. I could do it there, but I don't need to bulk up the inside any more than it already will be. So one thing with these, this will probably break because it looks like it's all stretched out. I try to stretch it as much as I can, and then just take it around, and it holds your ribbon in place. And I like it better than a pin because typically a pin ends up puncturing my finger. But I hope y'all had fun with me with this correspondence composition notebook journal. And I hope that you have a great week crafting. Bye!